A man born in 1880 in a poor Khoja family in a small town called Amreli in Gujarat remains an unsung Khoja hero. His struggles and principled stance in an era when the Khoja community faced an identity crisis has been nothing short of monumental. A contemporary to the likes of Allama Haji Naji, he seems to have faded from the history of the community, which itself is a huge irony given that he wrote over 100 books, majority on Khoja culture and history. Yet, not many know the name of Edalji Dhanji Kaba, and even if they do, he merely appears as a footnote in articles and speeches about Khoja history. Starting his education in a small town school in Amreli, Gujarat, he had to run small errands to help pay for the books because his father could just about pay the fees. It is remarkable that he ended up as a formidable principled teacher in the very school he was almost dismissed from because he could not afford the fees. The teaching career made him a social activist against the corrupt education system of his time. As a poor man, he had no fear of speaking the truth to power, when he could easily have enriched himself by joining the uneducated elite and used his sharp intellect and literary skills to establish himself as part of that establishment. Instead, he lost his teaching career because of his upright stand and somehow meandered into magazine publishing through sheer coincidence when he met two Memon gentlemen who were activists and writers in the Memon community. Now this budding writer, who was very much in the eye of the storm as the Khoja community was transforming itself from the long-held Satpan belief into Ismaili and Itnashui communities, began to pen articles and later books challenging the notions perpetrated by the Mumbai-based British judges that the Khojas had always been Ismaili. To counter that, in 1912, he was inspired to pen Khoja Kaum Ni Tawarik, outlining the history of the Khojas. The Khoja Ismaili community saw this as a major rebuttal to their narrative and thus began a series of counter-narratives to challenge Edalji. A prolific writer, he returned the compliment by a 6-part publication called Khoja Panth Darpan. Edalji's versatility and acumen also enabled him to capture in Gujarati all the major court cases between the two factions. The minute details and the sheer volume of meticulous recording of the Barbaya case, the Aga Khan case, the Mova Commission case, amongst others, is a feat worth appreciating given the paucity of resources, both financial and human. Even more, for a man who never went to college, no law school, no journalism school, had no formal religious education, his publishing prowess was nothing short of spectacular. Edalji Dhanji Kaba passed away in 1925. It is remarkable that he managed to accomplish what a fully fledged institution may not have in the short span of 45 years. Yet he died a poor man, some say for the want of adequate medications on his last years. He lay in a dilapidated grave in Amreli until the World Federation Khoja Heritage Project had the grave restored and declared as a Khoja Heritage Site, which now is a regular stop in the annual Khoja Heritage Tour.
Da